Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, the art book for Disney's Wish just got released, so now we can get things like the early concepts for the film, the character inspiration and all that. But before we get started, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you've not already, and with that, let's get into what we have for today's video. So a huge shout out to Disney, because that's where I got my screenshots for this video. Normally I would have gotten mine, but if I say I should order it on Amazon right now, it won't arrive in my country till 22nd of next month, and then before it moves from Lagos to where I'm staying, no, I don't want to get into all that. So let's just work with what we have right now. So if you watched my last video where I talked about understanding Asha's roots and origin and all that, we pointed out that she is of North African and Spanish descent. That's North African from her mother's side and Spanish from her father's side. So we have this early concept of the character where the art director Bill Schwab said that Asha is a beautiful character with a mother from North Africa and a late father from the Iberian Peninsula. So her features reflect that heritage. So learning more about the cultural tradition of the Amazigh people of North Africa inspired them to explore box braid hairstyles for Asha. And I must say, this early look of the character looks more traditional to me compared to what we got as a final look. What do you think? We can see Valentino there, but I don't like this early concept. For this next one, I think people pointed this one out already, that when Asha was wearing her hood, she kind of looks like the fairy godmother from Cinderella. So we're having an official confirmation sort of in this art book that growing up loving Disney animation movies with the fairy godmother, I was inspired by the fairy godmother's costume in Cinderella. So I incorporated an overall greyish lavender purple palette, a flowing cape with a hood, and in honor of the magical being who turned the pumpkin into a horse-drawn carriage, I included tiny intricate little teardrop pieces suggesting pumpkin seeds, and Asha's shoes were inspired by Princess Diana's wedding shoes. So from this concept art, you can see how they played with tiny teardrop pieces suggesting pumpkin seeds, and then the cape before they now arrived at the final look. But then I'm glad that at the course of the film, when Asha became kind of like a fugitive, they still incorporated this cape to the film. But then I just love the more cultural look to Asha, you know, this one where she's with the veil and then the teardrop pieces suggesting pumpkin seeds. But still, even though the final outfit is not in tune to Northern African, it's still very similar to what women in Spain wore during the Middle Ages. This person explained it properly in this post, so I'm just gonna leave it up here. And yeah, I don't know, whenever I see concept art like this, I tend to gravitate more to what they were exploring compared to the finished work. But yeah, this looks good. This looks so good. This next early concept which we got, we can see them, you know, just playing with Asha's hair. You know, she's biracial from North African and Iberian Peninsula, so we can see them playing with, you know, the curly long hair and all that before they finally arrived at the box braid. And personally, I think the box braid is a great idea because it's kind of unique compared to because we've seen something similar to this in other films or other cartoons, but having box braid in an animated film, especially for a main character, I don't think we've seen that in a lot of cartoons. So I think I'm going to go with the box braid for this one. And here we can see how they explore different hairstyle for Asha's braids. I kind of prefer this one here where she has the headpiece on because, like I said, I kind of gravitate more to the traditional cultural Northern African look. But still, I love the box braid and it's still good. Now let's move away from Asha and talk about Star. You know, when this film was announced last year in September, we heard something about, you know, a shape-shifting star, something like that. But then when the final film was made, we only got to see Star. So this art book has rather confirmed what we got initially, and that's the fact that Star was initially meant to be a shape-shifting human magical creature. So the text that goes with it says, I designed a human character, part magical, part glowing, inspired by Peter Pan. I also designed another version of Star with a face that has some of the proportions, openness and charms of Mickey Mouse to bring some of Walt Disney's inspiration into a legacy project. That's from the art director Bill Schwab, and we can see images of him, you know, like that fun spirit of jumping spirit that Peter Pan had in the animated film. That was what they were exploring for this character before they now shifted to Star being a shape-shifting being. But then when Star was a shapeshifter, when Star could talk, we kept asking ourselves, how is Star different from the genie in Aladdin? Because the genie could also do the same thing, turn into different things, and was bubbly and upbeat and all that. So once Star became a mime character, that's the final product, it was brain-breaking and also liberating. Asha and Star now have an emotional journey. They are soulmates. So I think personally, I like the fact that Star is a non-speaking, you know, just magical glowing ball, because if they went with anything other than that, this would have just been too similar to what they had before. I know this film is trying to celebrate Disney at 100, but at the same time, they were trying to keep it fresh and original. And it's good that we didn't get something like the genie, because friends would have pointed out immediately, and that would have brought up a lot of negativity that this film does not need. Next, on the way to achieving the final design, Star underwent 4 developmental phases. In phase 1, Star assumed various human forms. In phase 2, Star became an ethereal magical shapeshifter. Phase 3 saw Star descending to Earth as a younger representation of Asha's beloved grandfather Sabino, who passed away in a former version of the story. Nope, I don't like this one at all. And then in phase 4, the final iteration, Star became an irrepressible life force, the embodiment of pure joy, light, positivity and inspiration, and also a huge form of merchandise. So like those are the 4 stages that Star underwent, and I think I prefer the final version of Star because everything they listed earlier in the whole developmental phases just seemed too similar to what we've gotten before, or just something too abstract and unnecessary. So yeah, I kind of like the final version of Star. So the next thing we have here, we have to talk about Asha's friends, and I didn't even know this initially, but all 7 of her friends are actually inspired from the 7 dwarfs in Snow White. I mean, there are a lot of Snow White references in this film. The first we have on the list is Dahlia, inspired by Doc, and you can see she's also sporting the same kind of glasses that Doc had in the original cartoon. Next we have Gabo, inspired by Grumpy, Dario from Dopey, Simon from Sleepy, Hal from Happy, Safi from Sneezy, and Bazima from Bashful. So I think this is a nice way of, just reinventing these characters from 1937 and then bringing their personality into something new in 2023. And it definitely works better than, that Genie relationship with Asha and Star, because that would have been too similar. But with this, you can interpret it in a new way and then give us something fresh while still being true to, the original Disney stuff. And it's really fitting that at the end of the day, this is the cartoon that they chose to use to go back to, 2D animation, but also coming up with something fresh with the watercolors and all that. Because in order to celebrate Disney animation at 100, you can't ignore the fact that the 2D and hand-drawn form of animation was also a huge part of that brand. And I just hope that Disney continued with this trend, not just for this film, but moving on. Just bring back traditional stuff like love and romance. Not everything has to be so complex and twist villain and all that. They can play with these 2 formats from time to time, but it's not good to just alienate one completely and then just leave it behind. It's good to see that we're having all this traditional stuff come back, and I hope that they incorporate it into the modern stuff that they make in the future. So that is all for today's video. What are your thoughts? These are just the few that we got from Disney. Maybe as time goes on, we'll get to see more, and then we'll get to talk about them over here. Share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.